Hey everyone, Jocelyn's here. In spirit. Hi Jocelyn.
Hi, what's up guys? Stay home. Stay home.
How did she get in my computer? Easter's around the corner, guys, and this one's gonna be different. Normally I'm around a table with family and friends eating until I feel sick, and I don't think I'm gonna do that this Easter, but I still wanna give you a basket of chocolates. I wanna create a cake that looks like a woven basket, a colorful Easter basket. To make this Easter basket full of chocolates, I baked 9 pounds of my ultimate chocolate batter. My cakes are baked, cooled, and chilled.
You just mixed cake and bake.
Level and layel. I mixed layer and level to create a new word. Layel. I'm just gonna start saying this. Remove your cakes and layel them. I'm getting concise. If there's one thing that's gonna stay the same this Easter, it's baking. I love baking at Easter. It makes me happy. I hope it makes you happy. There'll be some opportunities for us to bake together, and I'll talk about that a bit later. The next thing I wanna do, of course, is simple syrup all 6 layers of cake. Now my cakes were baked in consecutive circles, so there's 2 7-inch, 2 8-inch, and 2 9-inch, and I'm really gonna get a nice basket shape from that. It's still Easter, so I wanna fill these cakes with lovely bright colors. So I'm gonna color some of my Italian meringue buttercream, pink, yellow, and teal. Boy, did the teal give me trouble. The yellow was lovely, the pink was lovely, and then the teal was just too dull and too dark. First it was too blue, so I added some green, then it went too dull, so then I took some out and added more white, and then I tried a different food coloring. Anyway, I ended up getting a really nice color, but it was more work than it needed to be. It's time to fill and stack these cakes. We're gonna do this upside down, so put your largest layer on the bottom and then fill with your colored buttercream, alternating the colors, and then chill the cake so we can carve it. The reason I chill the cake at this point is because I want the buttercream to firm up. It makes it much easier to carve the cake. Otherwise, while you're cutting, you're just kind of squashing the layers and buttercream is oozing out, and you know how I feel about mess. I'm going to glue a cake board to the top, which is really the bottom, that I've cut to the exact size of the cake. I'm using my small offset spatula to crumb coat this cake. I like it because it keeps my hands raised above the cake. And I also like using it typically on any shaped cake because I can get into the grooves, because the point of the crumb coat is to really glue the crumbs to the cake. We want to imprison the crumbs.
Are you quarantining the crumbs?
Oh, I'm quarantining the crumbs. I've been quarantining crumbs forever. And that quarantine will not end. I should just find like a neater job. I'd have more inner peace. Instead, I keep battling cake crumbs. Now that the crumb coat is chilled, I'm going to ice this cake again in my beautiful yellow buttercream, and I'm going to use a bench scraper to help me get nice, smooth sides. We're going to be creating a basket weave on the outside of this cake. That's the reason I decided to ice it yellow. Just in case we can see through the basket weave at any point on the cake, I still want to see a nice Easter color underneath. I want to roll out some fondant in a nice hot pink, yellow, and teal. And what I'm gonna do is roll out some nice sheets and store them on a cake board. And before I chill them, I wanna texture my sheets of fondant. And for this, I'm gonna use a ribbed rolling pin that I have. The rolling pin is like a tube, so it doesn't have handles, and because it's textured and short, it's hard to hold onto. So what I like to do is put another little rolling pin into it and roll that rolling pin so I can really press hard and get that ribbed texture. Today is the day I pressed too hard and I broke the little rolling pin that I normally use.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so cute. And like the little handle just sort of like, it broke. So I'm gonna have to switch to my little fondant rolling pin and put that through the tube and continue ribbing. Now I'm gonna place this beautifully textured fondant in pink, yellow, and teal into the fridge to chill. This will make it much easier to cut. In the meantime, I'm gonna roll out some gum paste really thin, yellow, pink, and lavender. And I'm gonna roll it out as thin as I can on my nonstick board. And the next thing I wanna do is use my strip cutter to cut multiple, and when I say multiple strips of each color of fondant.
How many strips, yo?
I can't even count that high. I really can't. We should just run this footage really fast. I'm trying to create the Easter grass, you know, that you always see in Easter baskets. It's good to make this in advance. This is the kind of time I like to take advantage of. When I'm waiting for something to chill, I'm either cleaning or making something that I can make ahead. Now that my textured fondant sheets are chilled, it's time to remove them from the fridge and cut this textured fondant into strips. We're gonna cut along the ribbing, so if the ribbing is lengthwise, that's how we're cutting our strips. And I'm cutting 1/2-inch strips of every color. The next thing I need to do is clay extrude some purple fondant using the largest circle faceplate on my clay extruder. Make sure your fondant is soft enough. If it isn't, you'll want to soften it by kneading in some shortening. And the reason for this is if it's not soft, while you extrude, A, it will be very hard, and B, it will kind of tear as it comes out of the faceplate, and we don't want that. We want a smooth surface. And I'm gonna extrude as many as I can. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use 12 or 16 at this point. I just wanna get them extruded so I can chill them for a bit. I'm going to create a template for what is the bottom of this cake. I'm just gonna cut a circle of paper that's the exact same size, and then I'm gonna fold it like a pie. I ended up folding, I don't even remember how many folds I made. How many folds did I make? I think it was 8. So create the template and lay it on top of the cake and then mark your sections. The most important thing to note is once you place your template on the top of the cake and mark your sections, you need to mark the exact same amount of sections around the widest bottom part of your cake. So now what I need to do is lay those purple extruded cords along these lines. So you just want to gently press them into the buttercream and trim off the excess at the top. So now all my purple clay extruded strips are on the cake. It's time to start basket weaving. And then what you're going to do is pick up a pink strip, starting at the bottom of the cake, line it up with the first cord, go over the second one, and then bring it to the third cord, and if you need to trim, you trim and you tuck it in. The last time I did this, I did it with a piping tip, and it was probably like 19 years ago. So let's go. For the next layer, again, you could take a measurement because the cake is A-line. So every single line we add, the strips are gonna get shorter. So the next layer is gonna be pink again, but we're gonna start at the alternate cord. So whatever cord was 1 for you, you're now gonna start at cord 2. Yeah, because in reality, if you were weaving a basket, it would be like a continuous weave that just came, as if I've weaved a basket before. But that's what it looks like. Do you think there are basket weaving classes?
100%.
We could have been doing that right now, Jocelyn.
I know.
Oh, that was a lot of weaving. It's time to flip this cake.
Woo! Oh, you flipped it post-fondant?
Post-fondant. This is a post-fondant flipping. Before I make this next big move, I need you to subscribe to this channel. Now the cake is flipped, it's right side up. Now you're getting it. It's a basket. There's a lot of room for chocolate in there. Not in this case because there's cake in there, but there'll be chocolates. And what I want to do is down at the bottom of the cake, I want to make sure to cut off any excess purple cording that's sticking out. And now I'm going to create a braid to wrap around the base of the cake because I feel like baskets always have like just a bit of like a border.
The border keeps it all together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would know the answer if I'd actually weaved a real basket in a class. Now you know what? I feel like we all have to make like a post-pandemic bucket list. And you know what's gonna be great about it? The things on it will be so much simpler than our original bucket list. Like I'm just gonna take climb Everest. Who am I kidding? Climb Everest is not on my bucket list, but I'm gonna take some of those things off and it'll be like basket basket weaving, right?
No, it'll be like have wine with friends.
Yeah. It'll be like go out to dinner.
Yes, hug somebody.
Yes, talk to someone face to face. These are our new.
That's the new bucket list, yo.
Yes. I've been through this before, though. I've been a new mom. Shout out to the new moms out there during this pandemic. Yeah. We're all gonna get back to it. Why? Here comes the fun part. So this doesn't look like a basket yet, truthfully, because it doesn't have a handle. I thought, you know what would be perfect, the perfect base for my Easter basket handle? An Easter basket handle. Because I was thinking, you know, I could get, on other cakes I've used, you know, a coat hanger and bent the wire, but I'm like, why don't I use an Easter basket handle? They're often bamboo, right? So, and I use skewers and dowels in a cake. And what I'll do is I'll just coat it in piping gel, cover it in fondant, and it's already the perfect shape, right? So I had this Easter basket handle that I had cut off a basket. It's pink, it's perfect. So I have this handle, and I noticed that, you know, once it was free of the basket it was woven into, it kind of like expanded, like it didn't stay, it just kept expanding. I'm putting the handle in the cake. I'm like, oh, it's the perfect height. It's so even. Doesn't it start expanding in the cake? So I can see, I ripped that handle out so fast. Like so fast that after the fact I was like, did we get that on camera? Because it was such an instant reaction. We did, but I ripped it out because the last thing I want is, after creating all that beautiful basket weave, for this handle to bust open my cake. So now, guess what? Back to coat hangers.
After all that?
Yep. It's not as perfect as the handle, but at least I'm confident that it won't break my cake. Now, guess what I need to do to cover this? More clay extruding. Yay! I'm gonna take these cords of fondant and I'm going to wrap them around the coat hanger. It was so tight, it was tighter than the curls on my head. Like it was just constant. It felt like it would never end. And in retrospect, I should have started at the top and then gone down. I was afraid to do that because I thought it would slide. But because I started at one side, the weight of the fondant itself was kind of pressing the tubes. So the handle's not perfectly even, which is really bothering me, but I'm gonna move on. Okay, so I'm really happy with this Easter basket. It's time to fill it though. This is a sad Easter. This is a post-Easter basket right now. I have some chocolate bunnies, I have some big chocolate eggs, my Easter grass. Don't forget about your Easter grass. We've put together a whole series of baking tutorials for you guys. I hope you're gonna join me and some of my guests so that we can bake together. Our baking live stream series is called Bake You Happy. We have free options coming out. We have pay what you can options, as well as master classes. For Easter weekend specifically, since we can't all be together, I'm gonna be doing a master class on my avocado toast cake. Everybody seemed to love that. So if you want to join me, we can make it together. Check out the link below. So we can pretend we're brunching.
That's the whole point.
We can pretend we're brunching. I like it. Come have Easter brunch with me. Then we can all sit and eat our cakes while we look at each other through a screen. If you need to see more cake, click right here.